Nate, you spilling it. I'll make it taste better.
So everybody's gonna want to know how we clean crankshaft. We dipped it in a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket of gas, cleaned out all the journals. Everything should be clean. It's been blown out, it's been wiped down with a brand new microfiber. And guys, I don't have to tell you this, but make sure it's clean. If you get 1 grain of sand, then that could be the end of it. So we want to make sure this thing's completely clean. Jonate's gonna check it over.
Get it up about 6 inches high and drop it.
Yep. Make sure it slams.
Oh yeah. Guys, this is where you don't have a fan blowing on whatever it is you're working on. You make sure you just stay as clean as possible. So Nate's getting the plastic gauge ready. So if you guys kind of want to see how that's done, this is it. I've never plastic gauged anything. I've seen it done, but I've never done it myself. So Jonate's going to take the reins on that, and I'm going to watch and learn.
About 4,000 miles.
That's it, guys. That's all you got to do is get you a little piece in, and when you put your caps on and you tighten everything down, it'll squish it to a certain thickness, and we'll take that measurement. Now, we are going back with the exact same bearings that were on this. They were just Cleveite, just standard bearings, nothing crazy. I know, I tell you what, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. If you want to use King bearings, if you want to use Tri-Code, if you want to use whatever, that's cool. We're not using those. These engines will last. It all comes down to if it was built correctly, if the clearances are right, and you got to remember too, I mean, use the right thickness oil. Don't just assume that every engine you build is going to take 2050 or whatever the case may be. Take your measurements and find out. These bearings are fine though. I just want to kind of cover that because, you know, we get comments from time to time, and I know some of you guys are just talking to be talking. I get it, but at the same time, don't feel like you have to do that, guys. The internet will get you in trouble. You'll spend a lot of money on stuff that you don't necessarily have to. So don't ever think that I'm trying to discourage you from buying the best parts that you can afford. Buy them if you want to buy them. Just understand that you don't have to. Nate's putting the caps on right now. He's going to torque them to spec, and that should give us our squish right here that we will then measure. Jonate gave us a go ahead on that. Looks pretty good. So bearings are fine. So guys, it's as simple as bolting this thing together now.
Let's sell a little Debbie cake.
A little Debbie cake.
Oh, okay, let me get
look,
I'll buy one of them.
Andrew's here to buy.
Ooh, I want a banana nut bar.
Why? All right then.
Okay.
We've got to a stopping point, and it's not by choice. We have to stop. Got some bad news. We were going to go ahead and get a couple pistons in for you guys and then kind of show you the process of how to do it and everything. Nate got all the rings on, got them all gapped. Everything was great. But we got a problem. Just go ahead and tell you this. Let me give you the rundown. So this block was ordered straight from Dart, and it was to be cut for a 347, well, notched for a 347, bored 30 over. So that's a 4030 bore. This is the packing slip that comes straight from Dart. See if you guys see an issue here. Let me zoom out for you. You guys see that? It's not gonna work. The thing we gotta hope is that that extra gap that we create once we get this block, you know, bored correctly, that we're still good. Everything was going so good. Everything plastic gauged out good. Andrew, show them how nice this thing spins. I mean, it is butter, guys. This thing,
Not too tight, not too loose.
I'll get back to you guys with an update. So, catch you then.
Show you how to drive.
Oh, Andrew's gonna show me how to drive my own car. Okay, that's cool. Well, Andrew, I guess you can just sit right there. All right. So, as you can see, it is. Oh, there's daylight. Well, this is the next day, and things did not go as planned last night. So I wanted to kind of come out and talk to you guys about it and kind of give you a heads up of what's going on. It's all Andrew's fault, of course. So Long story short, the bore for the block is off. It's not the bore that we ordered. So we have a 347, and to make it a 347, the block needs to be a 4030. So a 30 over block, right? Well, our pistons are obviously 30 over. So last night we did our final measurement to make sure everything was good, and we realized that we were a little short. I'm going to make a phone call tomorrow, get up with a local machine shop, and get them to hone out the cylinders. Now, this is what we think happened. Dart is not going to finish this block out. Now, I've not talked to Dart, I've not spoken with them, but they're not going to finish this block out in a 4030 because a machine shop really wants to know the size of your piston skirt and all of that stuff before they do the final honing to get this thing down like you need it. From my understanding, it's anywhere from 2 to 3 thousandths piston to cylinder wall gap is what most people want. So that's what we got, guys. No big deal. It sucks that we got as far as we did before we called it, but we just assumed that that Dart had, you know, taken this thing to 4030. They didn't. Anyway, it is what it is. I've taken everything back apart, so we got the crank out of the block, and we're gonna send that thing to the machine shop. But everything looked good though, man. The crank was like butter, man. That thing turned so good. I took the bearings back out today and looked at them because we probably spun that thing 50 times at least. So luckily we didn't have any sand, any dirt in the bearings. Now we got to go back and do it all again and hope for the best, but we didn't have any contaminants or anything in it, so it all looked good. So we're probably looking at about, what, 2 weeks, I would say. Probably 2 weeks before we get the block back, and then we'll go back through the same process. We'll wash the block, we'll clean everything. The only thing that we have accomplished is we do have the rings on the pistons. Now, some of you might say, well, the ring gap's going to change because we did gap the rings. The rings are gapped at 30 thousandths, so we've got room there. So mid to high boost, the rings, they call for 35 thousandths. So guys, that's about what we're going to be at. It's about 35 thousandths when it's all said and done, and we should be good there. So
we're just going to run 50 pounds of boost all the time.
So we're just going to run a lot of boost all the time. I do want to say something. So this is something that we brought up last night, and I've never really thought of it that way. Andrew hasn't. So let's say you've got a car that's going to be making 30 pounds of boost, and you gap your rings at 35 thousandths because you're running high boost or whatever the case may be, right? So I got a question for you. Does your car run around with blow-by if you're not in boost? I mean, it's a thought, right? And that's kind of where we're at with this. We may have a little bit of extra ring gap. Plus, you got to remember these are total seal gapless rings. So we should be good.
We got a little bit of cushion there.
Yeah, we got some cushion there. We should be fine, guys. Honestly, I was good with 35 thousandths. Anyway, I was trying to talk Joe Nate into going to 35 thousandths. He wanted to stay at 30, so either way, we're good. I don't see any issues there. I do feel bad for Joe Nate, though, because he come over here and he busted his butt. I should have pulled the pack and slip out and looked at all this stuff, but I didn't, so that's on me. It is what it is. Either way, guys, we're going to have this thing going here pretty soon. But best believe Andrew will be getting gapped here pretty soon. He should have his transmission back together, and we're gonna go ahead and gap him on up one more time, hopefully before we put his motor out. Andrew may have a little something for me this time. It depends on how his.
I may have a lot of something for you.
Yeah, Andrew I think is probably gonna try to split the block this time. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're already almost there, but we're gonna be fast.
Yeah. So Andrew, that's something we've not really talked about. So, real quick, I know this is off topic, but what kind of power you think your car makes on the shot, on the 175 shot? It probably makes 500.
Probably close to it.
So
it made like right at 440 on the 125.
So Andrew's car made 440 to the tires on a 125 shot. Now he's got a 175 shot. So I mean, this thing's probably making right at 500 horsepower to the tires. Andrew's car is no joke. We know the converter was holding it back, so we're going to see if that converter fixes the problem. I mean, I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm going to turn my car up. What were we on last time? 12 pounds when I run you?
I don't know.
I can't remember, guys. Y'all know. So we're going to have to definitely turn this car up and hope that it doesn't blow the tires off. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's coming up. We will get you that race. I promise you. Things haven't been working out for Andrew and his car. He's got his car right now.
Like always.
Yeah. But his transmission's at the transmission shop getting checked out just to verify everything was good. What did they tell you?
They had no idea how it was like. It was locking up third gear.
Yeah.
We went to third, it was locking up tires, and they had no idea how.
Yeah.
Unless it was trashed itself in the valve body, then there was nothing wrong with it, and there wasn't any trash in the valve body. Called TCI, and they said they don't know how it would have happened. It couldn't really have been a shifter cable. All I know is he's going to rebuild it and put everything back together. It did need a new pump and new stator rings, so maybe the stator rings were wore just enough where it wasn't getting enough pressure, but it had to have been on that fine line.
We have no clue as to why his car is trying to lock up going into gear, and that's something that I don't think I covered. We thought it was a shifter cable issue back when I made the video of it last, but come to find out, it was trying to lock up going into third, right?
Yeah.
It would just lock the rear end up. So
Transmission guy pretty much told me there's no way it could have been a shifter cable adjustment.
yeah,
So
so
it being a reverse manual valve body.
So it wasn't a shifter cable issue. So anyway, whatever the case is, they're going to get that thing sorted out. When do you think you're going to get that transmission back?
I hope this week.
So maybe this week he'll get the transmission back. If that's the case, then maybe later on this week or next week we'll try them again. Also, we might be getting a new car for the channel. Maybe. We don't know. You just have to wait and find out. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.